Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the weekend review. Today we have Coach with us, as always. How are you, Coach?
Six. I have six. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, Pep trying to steal the mustard meme, but it's not. We're not giving up mustard yet, So, in any event, Gabby, how are you?
Listen, the second part was so good we had to do it twice. All right, back again.
welcome, welcome, welcome. We have Gabby with us on the main pod because, as many of you are, Tosin is currently traveling. So he cannot record with us today, but he'll be back, I don't know, whenever the fuck we do this again. But in any event, let's get right to it. We're starting in La Liga this week, and we start at the Montjuic, where Barcelona lost at home to Las Palmas 1-2. Coach, the Highline Revolution is failing, man. They haven't won in God knows how fucking long.
Look, man, I'm not going to take credit for it because you called it, but we spoke about it already. The correction is coming. It's not here yet, but it's loading. The correction is coming, and Flick is going to have to go through a mini sort of tactical revolution this season, evolution, should I say, this season, to fix it, because you can't play at full power, Charlie, for the whole season, basically. We suffered from that in 22-23 kind of thing, and you're not gonna full power Charlie and Yamin Laval your way to a title playing that way. I think they should still be okay, but yeah, it's all coming to head, and we've seen signs of it like in plenty of games this season already. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But if you want to piggyback off it, the Real Madrid game was one that I noticed it loads in. So
yeah, if Mbappe didn't find himself offside 8 times, Gabby.
I was gonna say, don't they have like the highest number of offsides for any team? I think in Europe
they average about 6 per game, which is 2 more than any other team in Europe. Which is a crazy gap for offside. Diego Martinez, Las Palmas manager, has now beaten Barcelona away twice with Granada last season and now with Las Palmas. Only Pellegrini, Zidane, and Ancelotti have been able to do that in the last 20 years. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now that Hansi Flick has the same amount of points after the same amount of games as Xavi did last season, should we now be calling him Xavi Flick? Is that what we're doing, Gabby? Like, what's the next move? Is he an upgrade? Are we still calling him an upgrade so far?
I mean, upgrade on style of play, maybe, but numbers-wise, I mean, I thought that Barcelona's fans were saying they won the league in October or whatever, beat Real Madrid 4-0 for nothing. Looks like, I don't know. So,
boy,
yeah, it's that's why I keep telling Arsenal fans, like, it's not over.
It's not the same.
There's a long way to go, but let's not get into the Arsenal thing just yet. Real Valladolid hosted Atletico Madrid, and shit did not go well for Valladolid. They conceded 5. As I said during the midweek pod, Coach, it feels a bit like Atleti has very similar to Arsenal sort of season so far, in that they've found their groove all of a sudden. Griezmann scored this crazy goal, which was very Bergkamp-esque.
Sensational.
Go find it, guys. Please go find that goal, because I was just applauding my screen.
It was fantastic.
I was gonna say they've won like 7 in a row now, and yeah, I absolutely agree. They've definitely found their groove, and Alvarez now doesn't look like a complete waste of money because he's poaching, which is, I kind of feel like that's what he's got to do in this Atleti team. Like, you got Correa, you got Griezmann. Where's the other fella that plays on the left? I've got anything, the light skin brother. These are all guys that essentially kind of play behind the ball a little bit, kind of thing. And Alvarez is obviously a second striker, but you're not going to do that for this Atleti team. You need to just sweep up it in and around the box. Just keep doing that, and they'll shithouse their way to a decent finish, I think, this season.
Yeah, it's crazy. They scored 5 in this, and they actually had 2 disallowed as well.
Yes,
so they were cooking, with
Listen,
power.
his decision to move over to Atleti has been justified so far.
You think so? Already?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
95 million. I'm gonna need a little bit more than that, but since he's away from City and City is shit right now, we'll just say they're not really missing Rodri. They're missing Julian Alvarez.
That's the agenda we're running.
Who, by the way, I said that as a joke, but they could actually use him right now.
Variety.
They really could.
Just variety, bro. That's it. Like, variety.
We'll get to that.
I think they missed Sergio Aguero, but Fair enough.
Yeah, well, his heart doesn't really work the way it used to. So.
This is true.
Like, he's not. Sergio Aguero is a great player, but is he as good as Christian Eriksen?
Oh, yeah.
Don't piss me.
Think about that. Think about that shit. Because what is Christian Eriksen doing this weekend? He's hooping. What's Sergio Aguero doing this weekend? He's probably streaming or some shit.
Yeah.
So in any event, let's move on to the next game. Villarreal hosted Girona, and that ended in a 2-2. Girona came from 2-0 down after Villarreal had led through Tierno Bari and Alex Baena. Donny van de Beek started to come back in the 66th. And there was a late equalizer from Ladislav Krejci. And I think everyone needs to see that. If you haven't seen that goal, you need to go see it. That is a volley and a half.
Yeah, Tosin is definitely, didn't watch that game this week because he knows what he would have seen because he's had it in for Donny van de Beek. But that game itself, I know I'm probably jumping ahead a little bit, but that game itself was pretty much a 6-pointer considering where both teams are in the league. Villarreal essentially maintained their 2-point gap over them, but had Girona won that, they would have been a point ahead of them. So, yeah, very, very good result in the end, I think, for Villarreal, which we did say last week you want to talk about them more, but now they slipped out of the top 4. So,
pretty much. I mean, like, they either need to get the results in order or they need to give Nicolas Pepe more minutes. I don't know why he's not playing this weekend or why he didn't play this weekend, but that's the only reason I have to switch to them. Cool jerseys and all, but ain't nobody got time for that. I'll spare Gabby the question I was going to ask about this game.
please.
I know exactly. Here you go with the bullshit.
I know exactly where it was going. I'm just so glad you intrusive thoughts didn't win this week.
Like, how do you think Tiana Trump would perform?
Oh, for goodness sake! I just thought.
I just asked about her employment prospects. That's all.
I thought they won. I thought they didn't win, but they clearly did.
The intrusive thoughts will always win. Always. Anyway, Real Madrid hosted Getafe, and Getafe have conceded the most fouls in La Liga this season. Bordalás, their coach, is notorious for being the Pulis of Spain, if you will. And Alaniam promptly fouled Rudiger twice in the box. Once to get a yellow card, then a second time to give away a penalty, which technically could have been a second yellow card to give them the lead. Jude converted the penalty. Then Mbappe had what I would consider a fantastic game. Do you agree, Gabby?
I guess for his standards right now, yeah. I guess I was more interested about the pen for Jude. Not the fact that I didn't think it was a pen, but like I've never seen him take a pen that way, like the hot skip and jump, type of pen. And it just felt weird watching him do it instead of just like slamming it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everybody's changing shit up over there,
I don't like it. Switch back.
Everybody got to change it up,
It's process. I don't like it.
Yeah, Mbappe scored one, and it was definitely a golazo. A beautiful pass from Jude to split the defense. He cuts in front of it was a little short, actually, that pass. So he had to cut right in front of the defender immediately, which worked out great. And he hits it from 30, 35 yards. Great finish. But then he missed what I would say were like 4 to 5 easier chances as the game went on. So,
that's part of the course.
Gabby kind of punted. Did he have a good game or not?
I think the only thing he can do right now is keep getting those chances. The moment Mbappe stops getting those chances, then we start having a conversation. But Danny Ings won, I think.
You're comparing Mbappe to Danny Ings?
No, you saw what he did.
Is that where he is now?
You saw what he did. You saw exactly what he did. Like, he went round the goalkeeper and he put it. You don't miss the far post. You miss it at the near post if you're if you've gone around the goalkeeper. Don't ever miss it at the far post. The ball's travelled so far across here. You don't do that. So that's why I said that. But yeah, no, genuinely, he has to keep going. And I think the most encouraging thing is that all those chances were him essentially running in behind. Like, Kylian, I'm sorry, man. This is what you have to do. Like, you're never going to be that second striker guy. You're just not. I'm not saying because you don't have the ability or the talent, but look at the shit that you're undeniably good at, and the shit that you've made a career out of. You don't want to be playing with the women and children in midfield. You want to be out there. You want to be out there on the front line against.
He did have some nice false nine-ish moments in this game. There was a nice chip pass that he played to Brahim Diaz. Brahim should have hit first time, then hit it. Didn't get the assist for Mbappe. But I'd say I'll come down on it was a good game. Should have been much better. Could have been, if he had scored 2 more of those chances, all of a sudden we're pretending that Anfield never happened.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Speak for yourself. I don't know about
Coach, hit us with them standings, man.
All right. So as we know, Barcelona have blown that gap now. It's down to 1 point. So it's just them and Real Madrid separate by 1 point, should I say, 34 and 33 points. Atleti, again, like they've been putting their shit together, man. Like 4 wins on the bounce now, 32 points. And then way back in fourth, Athletic Club on 26 points, but so are Villarreal. So yeah, looking quite tight there.
Yeah, Real Madrid have a game in hand. Gabby, who do you have money on to win this by the end of the season?
Unfortunately, I think Carlo has the magic. I think he's gonna win it again. Honestly, the power of friendship is undefeated.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Though. It's crazy if he wins this with Juju without central defenders. Like, I don't know. I know Hansi Flick's team is young, but they had a head start here. You can't just hold that. We will have conversations at the end of the season.
Listen, the fact that you have to like rely on your 17-year-old like world class. I know he's world class and everything, but like your 17-year-old to lift you up, that's not a good sign. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
You ain't loud. Let's go over to Germany, where Dortmund hosted Bayern, and they drew 1-1. Probably a fair result. I think both teams played well. Both teams created several chances. Grass was a problem on one side. Musiala was an even bigger problem on the other side. And obviously he made the difference at the end of the game. But before that happened, Jamie Gittins, coach. Yeah. I said Thomas Tuchel will call this boy up in the new year.
Yep.
Where do you think we are with that prediction?
So just for reference, guys, if you missed the pod we spoke about it on, I was a little bit more apprehensive on that, but I've been fully converted, man. Like, I already knew he was a good player, but I was thinking, look at all the attacking talent England have. Like, where is he in the pecking order? But I genuinely do think Tuchel is a fair and objective. Like, he's got no skin in the game with these guys. He don't give a fuck about any of these guys' reputations. Like, I'd be very shocked, for example, if he calls up someone like Carl Walker and shit like that. He's like, well, I don't need him anymore. I've got other options. So same goes for Gittins as well. Like, I think like he's in form. He probably speaks German and shit. Like, it will make it easier for me to, to get instructions to him and shit, and let's see where it goes. Like, first of all, athletically, the boy is just stupid gifted. Like, it is really, really like, obscene, to be honest. And he's scoring all types of goals. Like, he's running onto shit. He's making long bursting runs. You know what I mean? He's creating shit for himself. Right now, I'm not saying he's a complete attacker, but he's playing that one. So.
Listen, I can't lie, he rattles me a little bit because somebody sent me his goal and was like, this is your attacker. Like, this is who you need at Arsenal. Because if anybody's listened to the Arsenal pod, I always say that we need a pace version. We need at least another one. And I was just like, I don't hate him, but I don't know. Like, the pace merchants at Dortmund, you're getting a lot of space to run into and stuff like that. And then I watched the goal and I was like, you know what? I kind of see it. I can't lie. I kind of see it. And I know that Dortmund attackers can be hit or miss because Bundesliga attacks is crazy. But he just looks really good. Like, he just looks really good. And that goal was very good. But Dortmund do what Dortmund do. And they conceded.
Yeah. What do you make of this, Gabby, this whole Musiala scoring headers every week now? What the hell is going on?
I love when players add extra things to their game because him scoring headers is just so, Like, that's what we're adding to our game now. It's not what I know you for, but I like that he's putting, like, sometimes he puts Bayern on his back, and I'm just like, you know what? I love that for you. As a young player, you should want that pressure, and he looks like he relishes that pressure. So him adding another facet to the game, something that Philip Foden could never. I was always gonna get a look back. Yeah. I love it. Picking Germany, that was the right choice for you, my guy.
Yeah.
I just want to say on that, who do you think he's been watching to learn these headers, Dean? Beerhoff or Ballack or closer? Because like that header, like it wasn't like a little tapping one like the couple of ones he had before. This was a proper German Euro 96. Euro 2000 sort of shit header. Like, it was proper.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's just, I mean, Bayern played well enough to get a point in this game, but Dortmund were not disciplined enough to see the game out. Late goal concession. Let
As
everyone
usual.
go after the set piece, for overlaid on one side of the box. Then, and great cross from Elisa, by the way. Give him credit. Real quick on that Gittins goal. Let's go backwards real quick.
Yeah.
Who are we blaming for that goal on the Bayern side? Because Conrad Leimer is not a right back. He got immediately. Well, Kim, why was he marking space? Like, the ball was there. Like, get to Gittins and do something. He was marking the space for like 40 yards.
I've got the answer to that. And he, it's the manager, to be honest. Like, stop playing Lima right back. It is pissing me off. Lima to me is a dog, right? And he helps service the attackers because he lets them do what they need to do because he's so mobile and he's so athletic kind of thing. So let him do his shit there because I guarantee if he's in midfield, he just gets across to Gittins. But him at right back, I'm not saying like, it's a mismatch kind of thing, but it's a different proposition there.
It's a mismatch.
but it's a mismatch. At right back, absolutely it's a mismatch. At right back is a mismatch, absolutely. But Lima is coy enough and good. He's a very good player there. He stops Gittins before he even builds up head of steam. But then I can't remember if it was Kimmich that he ran past. He probably did, but I'm not feeling that. I'm just not feeling it. And honestly, if or when he loses his job, I hope he doesn't. They're going to be looking at it thinking, you've been playing Kimmich in midfield, like letting him cosplay there when you've got one there already that actually will help.
That's right there is crazy.
Every manager gets fired eventually, so I'm not too worried about Vincent Kompany's future. I mean, even Arsene Wenger got fired. We don't like to say it, but that's exactly what the fuck happened. Dortmund's home win streak snapped at 8 at this point. But I have to give them credit. A couple of weeks ago we were talking about Nuri Sahin potentially getting shit canned, and they've had a lot of solid results since then, especially at home, and decent in the Champions League as well. So good on him for stemming the tide, and good for Dortmund for once. Still inconsistent though, because they really should have seen this game out, if you ask me. RB Leipzig went away to Wolfsburg. Well, actually, they didn't go to Wolfsburg. They hosted Wolfsburg and wore some very cool velvet-looking ass jerseys. And Gabby, their clothes did not help them at all, did they?
No. Oh, well, I will say I want that jersey. It looks so nice. It's very Christmassy. But that game was terrible for them. They got slapped. And it just. They should have got slapped for more. Genuinely, They should have got slapped for more. They're missing Xavi Simons badly, and I rate Xavi Simons highly. And I'll never forget you guys telling me about Openda. And every time I watch him, I'm just like, you are an enemy of progress. Like you're an enemy of progress.
Yeah, but he's African, so let's just leave it at that. So
man, take your kufi off and be serious, man. Like. How are you over there watching Wolfsburg drop 3 on you guys in 15 minutes? That was insane. Like the game
and it should have been more.
Yeah, the game started, and before we could even sit down with the snacks and shit, it was over. It was over. Which is Marco Rosa. Do you think they fire him, Gabby?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I think at least when they get kicked out of the Champions League, because they very well might. They're bottom of the standings right now. It's not looking good. He might be gone.
Do you think Jurgen Klopp makes an appearance on the bench?
Stop the nonsense.
He isn't employed there.
Stop the nonsense.
It's his level.
I would like to see it personally. Develop Sesko before he comes to us. I would love to see that. But
Jurgen Klopp is never letting them sell to Arsenal. Let me tell you that now.
Don't be a hater.
I don't think he cared that much. I really don't.
Yeah, let me have this.
If he cared that much, he wouldn't have quit Liverpool in the middle of a season. He don't give a fuck. He quit that one and took a job with Red Bull. He don't give a fuck about that motherfucker.
He chose peace.
He said, "I will walk alone. Fuck y'all." Union Berlin hosted Leverkusen, and another Leverkusen comeback. Well, it wasn't a comeback really. They opened the scoring. Their wingbacks passed to each other. But then, as is typical for them this season, coach, they gave the lead up again.
Yeah,
but they have Florian Wirtz, and no one else does.
That is true. I'm still sort of trying to wrestle with the fact that Granit Xhaka is playing relatively well, but he is so far below the level that we expect of him. Like in terms of what he's put out in the last 3 to 4 years, to be honest, compared to what we're seeing this season. Is it the minutes catching up to him now? Because he's never injured, but it's just everything that that Leverkusen did last season, it was him. Like literally, like he was making sure that ball was getting to Wirtz. He was making sure it was getting to Boniface when he was make sure it was getting through to Frimpong, to Schick, like, and it's not the same anymore, man. And
but the issue is defensive. So it's not that he's not passing the ball to the people that need it. Is it that his legs have gone and he's not? They don't have the intensity to do what they were doing off the ball last season.
Yeah, but you have to remember as well. All of that is a byproduct of the fact that like Granit Xhaka is a fantastic what do you call it, athlete, in a sense that he gets around, he puts himself about, he wins pretty much almost all these duels, kind of thing. It's not the same. Like I know what a good Granit Xhaka performance looked like, and I might be able to think of 2 or 3 this season at most. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, that's disappointing. Well, Florian Wirtz, as mentioned earlier, placed a cross right on Patrick Schick's eyebrows for the winner in this game. Midway through the second half, and that was that. They didn't have to do a dramatic late comeback, but it was still a comeback nonetheless.
I'm going to be sick when he goes to Bayern. Like, actually going to be sick. Like, I just know that he's going to... I just can't see him anywhere else. I just know he's going to be there and just be good.
Where would you rather have him go, Bayern or City?
Is City as an option, really?
Well, they have money.
I can't see that either. I know they have money. I just can't see him
and
they
need to refresh their. I mean, clearly we're going to get to them in a little bit, but they need to refresh their squad. So, KDB replacement,
fair enough.
Tailor-made right there. If they want,
that's true.
I don't know. The thing is, I'm still not convinced he's midfieldy enough. I still look at him as a forward,
bro. Even after today's cross,
second forward, yeah.
Yeah, to me, yeah, forwards cross good all the time, man. Like Henry was taking our corners, bro.
and Harry Kane was taking England.
Yeah,
whatever.
But but for all, like he's so good, but he's not midfieldy enough for me. So okay. I look at him as
he's no fucking Foden. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
He's a better midfielder than Phil Foden.
Yeah, but a lot of people
is he a midfielder? Is he a winger? We don't know.
Yeah.
No. He's imaginary.
I don't think Pep knows either.
He's the PFA Player of the Year. Phil, yay! All right, let's move on to our final game in Germany for this weekend. It is Heidenheim 0, Frankfurt 4. Gabby, you get the honor. Our favorite thing to do on the podcast is to pronounce the name of number 7 on Frankfurt. Do you know who this is? He's Egyptian.
Marmouche?
Yes. You now get to say his full name. Say his full
what's
name.
His first? I don't know his first name.
His first name is Omar. Omar. Like Omar
Marmouche?
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Look at you laughing.
Yes.
That's the Salah replacement right there, I'm telling you.
See, nailed it. Nailed the Marmouche.
God forbid.
Yeah, well, he got a brace in this one, and Frankfurt won their 7th in a row away at Heidenheim. Hugo Ekitike and Fares Chaibi also got some goals in this game, and it ended 4-0. Coach, on to the standings, please.
So we have Bayern in first, 30 points. Frankfurt on 26 points in second. Leverkusen in third on 23, and Leipzig on 21 points. Just want to highlight that Freiburg and Dortmund are both a point behind Leipzig in 5 and 6. So... yeah, we're looking at a relatively good top 4 race, I think.
Good shit. Thanks, Coach. Gabby, when do Bayern win this? What month? January, February, or March?
Oh, my God. Honestly, I think they won it already. But let's say, what is it? It's almost January because we're in December. So I say after the Christmas break, because they have the break and we don't. Yeah. Done.
All right, cool. Liga, PSG 1, Nantes 1. Gabby, what'd you see in this one?
You make me laugh. Like, they just are the most unserious big club I've ever seen. Like, I genuinely think that PSG job is a poison chalice. It doesn't matter who is in that job. They just can't seem to get themselves together. And the bare minimum requirement is to win the league, which they'll probably do again this year, but they're not going to do anything else because their performances have been horrendous. Like, horrendous. Their scorers aren't scoring really. Donnarumma is in and out of the team because he looks shit, and their other goalkeeper looks shit. And I'm just like, where do you go from here? Like, I don't know.
So here's my theory. whoever takes over PSG, they're always going to be fighting an uphill battle because unfortunately PSG are not the biggest club in France, guys, and it's really difficult for them to accept that that the biggest club in
Who is the
France.
biggest club in France?
Well, the biggest club in France actually resides in London, in North London, to be honest. So that's
Say Arsenal, nigga. Goddamn.
and that's the issue here. Like they're trying to ice skate uphill. It's been what 30 years in the making of this shit. You're not gonna overtake that. I will say that if we're looking at shining lights for PSG this season, it's obviously Neves, it's obviously Barcola,
Vitinha.
Vitinha as well. So yeah, like, but it's just unfortunately now losing Mbappe, they're going to the league is not their concern. That's why covering League R is a little bit difficult in a sense because, especially PSG, because the league is just not their concern. They're desperate for that Champions League, and I feel like the fact that they've kind of half reset their team, they're building towards another sort of push for the Champions League. So yeah, I think it's probably a good time now to bring up the link to Salah that they have. They're trying to get there.
It's interesting.
They're trying to get there, and adding a player that's going to score for you in those big moments in the latter stage of Champions League, I feel like combining that with probably a bit more experience kind of thing, potentially there could be something there, but we'll have to wait and see. But the league for them is I wouldn't say it's whatever. They obviously do want to win it, but it's the owners, they're desperate for that Champions League.
Yeah, I get the sense that with the links to Salah, they feel like they need a talisman. Mbappe left.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, they have a bunch of young players that may or may not, like we have Barcola leading the league in scoring. I think I don't know if Patrick has changed that, but he's leading the league in scoring. Gabby, who do you think is most likely of all the players they currently have, not Salah that may come or may not come? Who do you think is most likely to become that talisman, or do they not have anyone that could make that step? You don't think?
Honestly, I don't think they have anyone. Like, I would love to see Barcola kick on and be that, but he has such a long ways to go for that. I just can't see any of them, and especially not their midfielders. As much as I highly rate Vitinha and João Neves, they're still João Neves is really young, so it's just we need to see more from you, especially in the bigger competitions, because Liga is just whatever. Yeah. I'm more interested to see who shakes loose because I would love to get a run of Desiree Doué, but
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think what I get out of that point you just made is that there are always going to be good players. Don't freak out when you miss out on one. There's going to be another one coming off the bus almost immediately. As for the game itself, PSG went ahead in under 2 minutes. Nuno Mendes cross, Goncalo Ramos. Wow. I just realized that Luis Enrique played a 9 this weekend. Praise the Lord. He doesn't. He usually puts Lee Kang-in or Marco Asensio as a center forward. Then Hakimi scored the opener in under 2 minutes. Then they wasted a bunch of chances before somebody named Ablin cooked Willian Pacho to equalize for halftime. Then PSG spent the rest of the game creating great chances and missing them. This is what they do now, So
the João Neves one was the worst one for me, though. I can't lie. I was just like, how did you not score?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It's weird, but again, they'll win the league regardless. Brest, our favorite team on the pod, they hosted Strasbourg and won 3-1. Got a helping hand from Strasbourg's defense with the City handball penalty, setting them on their way. And it was 2-1 before Strasbourg got a consolation goal, but Brest won in the end via late corner goal. You know what the goal looks like. The goal I'm describing, you know what it looks like, and I'm not going to describe it. It's the goal you score when the other team is chasing the game. That goal. Lyon hosted Nice and won 4-1. Alexandre Lacazette scored a hat-trick, Gabby.
This is why I don't like the Farmers League.
Did he steal from Arsenal? This is the question. Coach is convinced that this man was fucking dogging it during the last days of Arteta at Arsenal, or, Emery and Arteta.
That guy was shit in Arsenal. I'm sorry. I love Lacazette and everything, but
this is why I can't. Though?
I have
intentional.
Proof. I have proof, guys, that he was. I'm sorry. I have proof. Gabby, do you know how many sprints this guy has completed this season already? Genuinely, do you know? Because I can tell you.
Go on.
He has completed already this season 250 high-intensity sprints already this season, right? Do you want to know how many he completed in his last season at Arsenal? I'll tell you.
I'll go with the under, but go on.
65.
I was going to say under 50.
Yeah.
That's a
To
fraud,
be fair,
man.
he looked a little bit heavier at Arsenal. He was partying a little bit, Aubameyang a little bit too much.
Just so we're clear, I made that shit up, but
Oh my god!
Oh man,
No,
Laka
but-
got the hat trick. They handed Nice at Gustavo
Crazy.
Stadium. Nice were actually pretty good in this game, but
Hmm.
sometimes you're not efficient in the boxes, and the other team is, and that's how
Yeah.
the cookie crumbles. Coach, over to the standings. Enough Lacazette slander, please.
yeah, no, I was about to get it cracking.
I can tell.
But PSG, they're on 33 points. Marseille are way back in second place on 26 points, tied with Monaco as well. They're in third, but obviously goal difference separates them. And then Lille are on 23 points. Jonathan David, by the way, got a brace this weekend, so he's a point behind. Sorry, not a point, a goal behind Bradley Barcola in the goal standings. So
Do we think he's still going to be in the league next year, or he'll be?
I won't let you. He progressively each year he's adding shit to his game, but he's scoring more goals. And I feel like he just it's not even propaganda for me at this point. I just feel like he deserves a chance at the big time. Personally, like that's the way things should go. Whether he can succeed there, I don't know. But I've been a fan of the guy. So yeah, minus the haircut. But
I'm glad you mentioned that because I wasn't gonna let that shit go. All right. Over to Serie A, and this one's going to be somewhat quick because the big headline from that league this weekend is the unfortunate incident with Eduardo Bove in the Fiorentina versus Inter game. It's probably about halfway through the first half. He collapsed, and it looked like it was taking some struggles to get him up, and it just didn't happen for the period that we were watching the game. Eventually, we got reports from the hospital that he's conscious and he's breathing. But that took a while, so people were really nervous. This actually happened during our live stream earlier today. So
yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah, game abandoned and everything.
So the game is abandoned to be rescheduled at a later date. We hope he recovers 100% and continues his career.
Yeah.
Over to the games that actually did happen. Milan hosted Empoli and won 3-0. Gabby, you have a choice for your favorite new midfielder in Europe. What's his name?
Tijani Reinders. Listen, bring him. Bring him to the carpet. Okay, he's giving me the feelings. Like he's moving me. He's moving me. He's everything that we need. I need that. I need that. He's a goal scorer. Also the type of goals that he scores are like not just like random tap-ins or like very aesthetically pleasing Aaron Ramsey flicks, but like just lock your ankle and shoot kind of goals. And I love that.
Yeah, oddly, his gait reminds me of Seedorf. I'm not saying he's the equal. I'm not saying he's the region. I'm just saying the way he runs, like when he gets into the box and he finishes an action, it's classic Seedorf to me. He just looks like
it's
it.
always it's always near over the ball. It's like he's leaning over it each time. I will say that this might be a bit controversial, but he's playing very well. In a more advanced role, but I feel like he plays equally as well when he's deep as well. He's that intelligent and he's that good.
We called him like a proto Gundogan.
Yeah,
earlier this season.
Basically, yeah.
And that's basically a compliment to his flexibility. But from what
I see, player.
It's very Seedorf.
Yeah, he put like this. He's there's a few players who call this, but he's like a tactical cheat code for a lot of coaches because they can just fit him in, and he's going to deliver. He's going to do what needs to be done there. But just on Arsenal, where he fits in, I know you mentioned earlier that you want him to.
No,
not for me. No, not
don't
for
have
me.
time for this. Let's move on.
Not for me.
No, who wants to hear about the Tijani Reinders at Arsenal? That's enough. We're moving on.
All I know is put the contract down and let him sign it.
We haven't even seen Marino get a run of games, and you motherfuckers already replaced him.
And this is the point I was making. I don't want him.
There will be no points. I refuse. I will not accept this. No. He scored a lovely brace. Who scored the other goal in this game? Morata.
Yeah.
Great win for Milan. On we move. I'm glad I had to talk about fucking second amendment, Sancho. We move on. Napoli 1, Torino 0. Scott McTominay was the difference in this one, coach.
Yeah. Like I've said from day one, Scott McTominay's greatest attribute is his ball striking. Like, people need to remember the boy was a striker coming up. Like, he knows how to hit the ball with both feet.
But the way he sorted his feet out on this goal,
because that's a striker.
Yeah, it was pure Lewandowski. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, there's nothing Scott McTominay can do for me that will surprise me when he's in the box, because the striking instincts will never leave him. He is a real asset and a tool to a team that to any team really that don't particularly need him to start, but have him as an option. He can do shit for you that he can just pull you out of a hole, man. Like I'm really pleased for him, honestly, like genuinely.
Well, he's a starter at Napoli. That's for damn fucking sure. Antonio Conte loves him, and they continue to set the pace in Serie with their 5th straight 1-0 win in the league. You know, so they stay at the top of the table. Che Adams, the other Scottish motherfucker in this game. Actually, I don't know if what's his face played Billy Gilmore. I think he did play for Napoli, but that's neither here nor there. Che Adams, he let Napoli off the hook twice. Some bad misses. The kind of misses that explain why you're in Serie and not in the Premier League. You know, but on we go. The upset of the weekend happened in Parma, where Parma beat Lazio 3-1. Lazio started the game with a lovely effort from Rovella that you should probably go see. It was disallowed due to a foul in the build-up. Then Rovella decided to become a villain, an entire villain, by making a build-up error that led to the first goal for Dennis Mann. Haj Mohamed then scored his first goal in Serie with a beautiful curler that you should also go see. So just go watch these highlights, people. They're fucking fantastic. Before Parma paid Lazio with their own howler back in return to allow Tati Castellanos to pull one back. Finally, their captain, Del Prato, scored on a 1-on-1 break near the end. Another one of those goals that you can imagine when they're chasing the game and the other team hits them on one of them goals. And that is us done for Serie this weekend. Coach, the standings, please.
As Dee mentioned, Napoli are in first, 32 points. Atalanta, they play Roma tomorrow, I believe. Yes, they do play Roma tomorrow. They're on 28 points. But Atalanta are the form team in Italy and outside of Liverpool, probably the form team in Europe as well. So yeah, Inter in third, obviously they tied with. Actually, no. I forgot. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 teams on 28 points, from Lazio all the way up to Atalanta, and then Juventus are just behind on 26 points as well. That rounds up the top 6.
And even if we wanted to leave these motherfuckers for the racismo, we couldn't. Like, the league is too good.
It's too good.
It's tight. I still think it's going to be between Inter and Napoli, though. Conte just has the juice.
Yeah. You're probably right. But go on, Coach.
No, I'm hoping Atalanta are.
Yeah, that's where my soul is moving me. Like, as an Inter fan on the side, that's my little side piece. I've seen title wins. I've seen a treble. You know, like, I don't mind Inter taking a break in a year where they don't look as good as they've looked in the last 2 years. You know, so that's fine with me. On we go to the Premier League. Gabby, Wolves. Oh crap! What happened in that game? Because I wrote the score down. It was like 4.
He said, "What the fuck happened in that game?"
4-2. It was 4-2.
Yeah.
4-2 to Bournemouth. Gary O'Neill lost to his old employers, and Justin Kluivert, a nigga of a light skin extraction, scored 3 penalties for the first time in Premier League history. One player scored 3 penalties in the same game, and Evan Nilsson won all 3 penalties. That diving piece of shit. Who got anything else to add to this game?
I do. 2 of the penalties were
Shocking.
pretty much the exact same. They were won pretty much the exact same way, which tells me that I think there should be an investigation into some match fixing. But I'm just saying. But
Stop mouthing that nigga. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just saying.
I do think it's hilarious that we've seen players miss 3 penalties in a game before seeing someone score 3 penalties in a game. That's funny. I remember Martin.
And it had to be a light skin who had the bottle to do that. It's crazy. We're losing recipes now.
I mean, technically, it was just really Patrick Kluivert, if we think about it. If we really want to break it down,
true.
It's Patrick Kluivert that did this. So we have to give credit to what's his name again, Justin. There we go.
Yeah.
Good result for Bournemouth. A very good team. Again, there are no small teams in the Premier League anymore. I mean, some of the shit I've seen, even the worst team in the league play. We're going to talk about Southampton in a bit. Ain't no bad teams no more, man. These teams are fucking fantastic. We move over to Brentford 4, Leicester City 1. Ruud van Nistelrooy was there. Do you think he deserved this, Gabby? Did he deserve to watch this?
Yes. As an Arsenal fan, absolutely. Long may it continue.
Yeah.
Another lovely light skin hat trick in this game from Kevin Schade. His first hat trick of his career, and Yohan Wissa topped it off with the 4th of the 4 goals. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 1. Palace created more than enough to win this going away, but their chances fell to the wrong player, Daniel Munoz, their left back. Nice free kick routine got Newcastle the lead. Anthony Gordon did something. I don't know if he got credit for the goal. But it took a very, very late equalizer from Daniel Munoz for Palace to get a point in this game. Coach, you go to Palace a lot. Where are you with them so far?
I feel like they're finding like a steadiness. Basically, I still feel like they're in a bit of trouble, but they don't look half as bad as they did. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. I feel like they're definitely, they're feeling themselves a bit more. But on the game itself, though, like you said, they created a bunch of shit. Daniel Munoz could have had a couple goals outside the one that he did score. And yeah, I think it was Gahey. I got the notification that it went to Gahey as an own goal.
I think.
And in my head, I was thinking, is he auditioning for Newcastle for real? Because he could have went in the summer. But yeah, he ended up creating the equalizer as well. So yeah, but I think definitely what's his name? Sorry, the coach, Glasner. He's settled now. He is settling now. Keep playing Adam Wharton. Like, just make sure you keep playing Adam Wharton, and yeah, you should be okay.
Yeah, and we'd be remiss if we didn't give Eddie Nketiah a shout out. He came back from injury yesterday. He didn't have a direct impact on the result, but it was nice to see him. Nottingham Forest hosted Ipswich and won 1-0. Chris Wood penalty settled this one. Gabby, any thoughts?
I'm glad he was in my fantasy team. That's all I have to say about that.
And I will say Chris Wood should have scored against City last season twice, and he didn't.
No.
There you go, Coach.
Now, why are you bringing in the bad vibes?
Because that's what we do here. We're some haters. West Ham 2, Arsenal 5. The Arsenal edition has been out for a couple hours, maybe longer. Coach also put out an instant reaction with Big Man Use. That's on YouTube as well. But each of you...
Excuse the quality. Some Vlad TV nonsense was going on.
I don't know what happened, by the way, guys.
We listen and we don't judge.
No, let me just explain, because what I recorded and what was uploaded, guys, I'm not being funny, they were worlds apart. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was, but I had no say or control in that shit. But I hope you guys that did watch it did enjoy the takes and shit. But yeah, so go on.
Gabby, you were on the Arsenal pod, so I don't know if you have anything you wanted to say. You get one piece of insight, one sentence.
One piece of insight?
Yes, that you didn't mention.
Wenger Ball is back.
Okay, there we go. Wenger Ball is back. Coach, you get one as well.
I have nothing to say about the game. I just want to explain what the fuck I witnessed. Like, for real, because Dean and the rest of them got some excerpts, but yeah, it was. So I've been going to, like, I wouldn't say I go to West Ham as much as Crystal Palace, but I go quite regularly, and by far and away, this is the most what's the word I'm looking for?
Tense
and violent. You got the feeling. You got the feeling in there. So I've walked in now, sat in my seat, and everyone's already cussing, effing and blinding. And before
wait. Quick question, Coach. Where was your seat?
So my seat was pretty much to the angle of, I was right behind Saka for the corners in the first half, basically.
Yeah. So was that among Arsenal fans or?
No. I was sitting in the home end. I wasn't sitting with the away fans. I was sitting in the home end, basically.
There you go.
I was sitting in the home end, and they're all cussing and effing and blinding and shit. One guy in particular basically said Saka's a fraud. He was like, he can't play for England, but he can play big games for Arsenal. The fucking fraud. Someone needs to snap him in half. I was like, okay, fucking no, like relax. But everyone is fuming. Like, but at 0-0, everyone's already fuming. So by the time the first goal goes in, like, yeah, I'm just there like, what the fuck is that? I'm with them, like, getting angry. I don't want to get my kicked in. But this is that 1-0.
Myself.
No, but for this is that 1-0. So you can imagine what it's like by 4-0. So basically at 4-0, I look over to my right and I just see a big commotion, basically. And we all watched Game of Thrones, right? So when Jon Snow gets betrayed by the Night Watch and everyone's stabbing him one by one and shit, that's essentially what's happened to my man, to one of them, basically, as they're pushing him up the stairs. So he's getting weighed in, basically, and then the other one's following close behind him. And then he falls on the floor, and then they start jumping him on the floor, kind of thing. And before I know it, basically,
I shouldn't be laughing at this.
It happened. Unfortunately, I'm just telling you what I saw. Basically, he got knocked out. Basically, the second one got knocked out at 4-0, and medics came to help him and whatnot. And by the time they revived him, it was 4-2, basically. And like, I'm sorry, guys.
I wish to the future.
I wish I was joking when I said it. So, Dean, you remember the screenshot I
Shout out
sent
to
you?
that guy. I hope he's okay though.
No, I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay for all, because I saw one of them, like, say, he ran back into the crowd to get his boy. Like, he was not leaving them for shit, kind of thing. Like, they were about it, but obviously there's too many guys. Basically, I was exchanging messages with Yusuf. He was sitting a bit further down. So I went to sit with him in the second half, but he was messaging me saying everyone he knew row has left. They left at 4-0. There's people around me leaving as well. There's an old woman, basically, she lost her shit at another old guy. She must be about 7 years old. They wanted to get into a fight. Legit, like, they were getting into a fight because she kept on screaming, "Come on, you!" And he goes, "Miss, can you fucking stop? You're doing my head in." And then he gets up and goes. He goes, "Yeah, I'll just leave myself then." Then she looks up like, "Yeah, well, next time I'll change my seat, you fucking prick." And then she's off. And then she's off as well. So she leaves as well. So there's a few people are leaving. So I go sit with him in the second half. And this way it gets a little bit scary for me personally, because a guy sits next to me and he literally says to me, he's like, "All right, mate, what team you support?" Like that. And I'm just like, "I'm a hammer, what do you mean?" Basically. And he goes, "All right, well, I'm a goon." I'm like, "Well, you want to keep that to yourself." Basically. Like, that's what I say to him. He's like, "So go on, like, you know, I see you and your mate sitting there. I've just noticed that obviously you like my people, innit?" But he's white. I'm clearly black, basically. But
And I'm clearly not your people, motherfucker.
I'm clearly not your people, bro. So
You're not kinfolk, but sure.
So basically, throughout that time, I feel like he's trying to see if I'm gonna slip up. But as the more I'm talking to him, the guy actually turns out to be an Arsenal fan. And he's saying a lot of stuff that you just wouldn't know or say if he wasn't an Arsenal fan, basically. But I'm not taking any risks. So I'm just like, I'm just like, "Oh, well, yeah, good luck for the rest of the season." He leaves about 10 minutes before full time, basically. He's like, "Good chatting to you," and he leaves, kind of thing. But I did not take any chances. And by the time we're recording at the end, basically, we're getting a bunch of stares from West Ham fans just looking at us and shit. But I'm just in the zone trying to record and shit. But I say all that to say is, I cannot wait for next season because I'll be back there again.
To be fair, they should be used to this. We saw them all the time.
Yeah.
Like
That is our whipping post.
Yeah.
Let the stadium belong to
especially Gabrielle.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
loves an away goal against West Ham.
West Ham fans probably think he's the Ballon d'Or winner. They see him every year and he fucks them up every year.
And I will be leading the charge
He
for
is
that
quite literally the
campaign.
greatest centre back they've laid the eyes on. I'm talking
Ever.
better than Bobby Moore.
Yeah, it's him. It's Declan Rice as a rookie, and it's Bobby Moore. That's
Yeah,
the rank
basically.
of best player to ever show up at West Ham.
They
All
were so
right.
shell shocked they stopped booing Declan Rice. That's how I knew it was real.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But in any event, if you want more detail about the game itself, podcast is out, and the YouTube video is out with the instant reaction. On we go to Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. Gabby, what did you make of this one?
Why'd you throw that to me? Why
Well, because
Chelsea
Unai
part?
Emery is about to get shit on, and I want you to get first dibs. Because if I start, I ain't
Listen.
stopping.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. I specifically do not hate watch for this reason. Because one thing about Unai, he will always let you down. As an Arsenal fan, I know. And when we tried to tell you, us and Villa fans, you guys were telling me that we were bitter. Fuck you. I wish you nothing but the worst. I wish you nothing but the worst. The honeymoon is officially over.
I mean, now is it fair to say that we need to stop comparing Unai to Arteta and compare him to his mate?
You should have never started. That guy is ass, bro. Every big team that he has ever been on, he's let them down. PSG, Arsenal, he has to be an underdog. He has to be. Because anytime there's a little bit of pressure on him to finally kick on, that nigga chokes.
Yep.
That nigga chokes.
Yes.
Mr. Deeds Butler chokes every time. It's a shame. Goals from Nicholas Jackson, who has been very good this season, but we'll talk about him in more detail at a later date. Enzo, who actually got to start today, he hasn't started a lot of games in the league for them this season, and of course Cole Palmer. Aston Villa's lost like 7 straight games now, so that's why we're not hearing their Arteta comparisons anymore.
Yeah,
once he wins 2 games
that
again.
Bayern game was their cup final.
By the way, that what's his name, Emi Martinez. That boy garbage, man. Like, I don't care how many FIFA fucking gongs he wins, he is garbage, So he's a good goalkeeper, but there's a big old streak of garbage in him. And
Listen, Emi Martinez for his country is a false prophet. That is not Emi Martinez for real.
Do you know what I think might help him? I mean, Argentina sponsored by Adidas, and so are Aston Villa. Why don't just put all the Aston Villa players in Argentina kits?
Because there's no Messi on the pitch. He can't. That spirit of Messi kicks you on.
That might be
I
it.
don't
But
know, man. I've seen Ross Barkley do things Messi could never dream of.
that
Just
is true, actually.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's better. I'm not saying he's worse. I'm just saying we need to admire two bad bitches.
I personally have seen Ross Barkley solo an Arsenal and City midfield in the space of a week. I've never seen Messi do that. I'm just
Pretty
saying.
much.
I just think for
Coward.
Aston Villa, is there any excuses for them for right now? Like, do they have any people out? Is there any I can't see any excuses for them.
I will say this. I don't really want to talk about Villa for too long, but there's a clear trend. Every single game they've played after Champions League game, they've not won. And that just reeks of a team that has zero Champions League experience and they just have zero pedigree, to be honest. And I'm really homing in on that because they tried to bring up their little shitty Champions League trophy that most people didn't even know they had won, by the way, when we played them and we still smoked their
still
stupid...
counts. It still counts. Don't do this. Don't do this. You cannot do this. What I will say is that we're moving on to Manchester United 4, Everton 0. Has the recovery started, Gabby?
Listen, the new manager bounce for Man United, that new manager bounce for Man United is like crack for them every time. They are the best team in the world when they get a new manager. We'll see them when they kick on and play a good team.
Well,
that's it. Out.
Well, that's happening on Wednesday. That is happening on Wednesday when they visit the Arsenal. But today, Marcus Rashford opened the scoring, and nice finish from that corner routine. I think they just crossed it directly to him from the corner, and Mason Mount crossed that ball. So it's nice to see him again because
that man got some milk and they started scoring again.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta tell Dr. Umar to shut up. I don't know.
Oh, he's dating someone new, isn't he? Oh my god,
who's that? Mason Mount or Rashford?
No, Rashford.
Oh well, good for him. Good for him. Wait, it's milk.
Yes,
it sure is.
Went for milk. Oh man,
yeah, that's the only time he actually shows up when he's dating milk. When he's dating a black girl, and I hate that I know that, but the timeline tells me all.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know what that says about miscegenation across the pond, but you know, it is what it is. He got a brace, and so did Joshua Zirkzee. I'm very happy that Joshua Zirkzee is doing well enough not to be bad at United. I can't say I wish him well because he plays for United, but he is my boy, you know, so I'm glad he's doing okay. Kobe Mainu and Lisandro Martinez got themselves suspended for the trip to the Emirates. So
good. Fuck that butcher of Argentina.
Advantage United, to be honest. like for real, like advantage United. Because
absolutely.
if they both had to play, like first of all, Havertz is leaning on that little bitch. Like he's leaning on no, for real, he's leaning on Scrappy Doo all day long. And Mainu, yeah, I just don't see how he's going to be able to cover the grounds when Odegaard is just doing all sorts
I'm just glad he's not available to put a 2-foot tackle into someone because he's going to do it to someone, and it most likely would be Saka.
True as well. That is true as well. He's a nasty piece of work, to be honest. I don't like him at all.
Well, the same way Arsenal whoops up on West Ham all the time, it's the same thing between Manchester United and Everton. So this really wasn't surprising. I feel like Erik ten Hag would have put 4 past these motherfuckers somehow. I don't know how he would have done it, but it would have happened. We move over to Tottenham 1, Fulham 1. Spurs continued their consistent inconsistency by drawing at home with Fulham after they beat City last week. On a different day, Fulham probably wins this. They were really good, Gabby.
They were slapping them. I can't lie, like they were getting battered. Like this Hale End was showing up today, and I love that for me because I was like, the amount of chances that they got, and Raul Jimenez if I catch you, but the amount of chances that they got were egregious. Like, and it was just Forrester kind of like standing on his head a little bit, Dragishin doing his job and like clearing some balls that absolutely should have been finished. And just some bad finishing. Like they had a lot of chances. They definitely should have put back more than 1, more than 2 in the first half. Even not even like the whole entire game. Just it should have been up and clear.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool that Anthony Robinson, aka Jedi, U.S. men's national team left back, got to captain Fulham.
Captain's armband, baby.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Tom Kearney came on, equalized after Brennan Johnson had opened the scoring for Spurs against run of play, if you ask me. Then Kearney got the red that the person he was subbed in for should have gotten before he went off the field. That was Sacha Lucic. So that's the funniest shit that's ever happened, I think. You know, like because
Dog scores a goal and then does stupid shit.
It was a nasty tackle though, like leaning in all the way out until his calf was just so unnecessary, man. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And he's the
I
reason
don't
that
know.
he got the red card too. You dwelling on the ball that amount of time, and then doing the let me hurry up and get it back, and then getting a red card. I was just like,
Yeah, that
what a
shit was
moron.
goofy. That shit was goofy. And over to today's headline results. Even though we all knew this was going to happen, Liverpool 2, Man City 0. A very limp showing from the defending champs. Liverpool toyed with them and eventually put them out of their misery. And they left Pep gesturing like his old rival, Jose, throwing gang signs and shit. Talking about what
that
he did.
Jose bag.
Yeah, exactly.
What he did, not what he's doing. You know, like he reminiscing and shit. Gabby, what was your take on this game? Have Liverpool finally done enough to impress you?
Before I talk about the game, let me just say, I know he's proper Chelsea, but they'll never make me hate Jose. He is a proper villain, and my favorite one.
Can we ban
This was
her?
men against boys.
We'll talk about that off the podcast.
Listen, I'm just saying, he's my favorite villain. He's just so memeable. This was men against boys. It was not close. We did not think that City was in it the whole entire time. The fact that they were only 1-0 up for so long was their saving grace, because they should have been out of sight. They're missing chances. Salah missed 1-on-1, 2-on-1 chances. And I'm just like, the only thing that Pep was justified in doing is dropping Edison for Ortega. I know he gave away the pen, but he just had to come out. But he had a lot of good saves in that game. Other than that, you guys are ass, bro. Like, it's never been so clear that this is the off season for you.
Of all the ass that was on display at Anfield, which was assiest, Foden or Haaland?
I will always say Philip Foden. Philip Foden, I do not spell your name with a PH. You don't deserve it. You are an F. Philip Foden. Like,
F,
just
F-.
shit. F-. Garbage. I've been saying my gospel about Philip Foden for over a year. That guy is a false prophet if I ever did see one.
That's crazy. This is the first time on the pod we've had someone relegate a footballer by name spelling from Anglo-Saxon
Hate that guy.
to Slavic. Now we're spelling it Philip like he's from the Czech Republic.
The
That's
PR
crazy,
for him
man.
was crazy. Better than Saka, better than Cole Palmer. Build the team around him. Build his country about him now. Cut the shit. That guy has never ever been about that life.
So here's my thing with Foden. I'm still up on him because I like good footballers.
Here you go with the bullshit.
However, it is so clear, and I mean, we spoke about this 100 times now, but it's so clear this is the result of purely cynical coaching and conditions, and trying to create perfect conditions means you're going to get a player that can only really excel in perfect conditions. Phil Foden has enough talent for him to obviously still make a good career and whatever else kind of thing. But this adversity should in theory make him a better player. If it doesn't, then it is what it is kind of thing. Then maybe he is as bad as everybody is saying right now. But he clearly needs this adversity, because there is no way that any top player that I see don't go through it. If you look at Salah right now, Salah at 23 was 22, 23 was not this player. He did well at Basel, yeah, but he just was not this player at all. Salah now is just, he leaves me speechless at times. He's remarkable kind of thing. Foden has just shown talent and been platformed in a way that there's never been pressure on him. There's never been any sort of, if you don't deliver, then we're fucked kind of thing. Like Saka, for example, kind of thing. It's if you don't deliver, well, David Silva or, Bernardo Silva or Kevin De Bruyne or Mahrez or whoever else the fuck, we'll just pick up the slack for you anyway. You're fine kind of thing. So, yeah, this should do him good in the long run. But for now, yeah, we're going to enjoy the downfall, clearly, because he's too privileged. That's just the bottom line. He's too privileged.
Which one is more of a assistant player to you, Gabby? Rico Lewis or Philip Foden?
You guys in this Rico Lewis slander. I don't even like that boy like that, but that's just so harsh, man.
I don't know.
It has to be Philip.
That nigga might be Jamaican. I think Rico Lewis might be Jamaican.
Well, then that's my boy.
His mom is
Sorry.
obviously not Jamaican. She's white, but his dad feels Jamaican to me, man. He feels very Jamaican. He got that arrogance. I don't know, man. Anywho, let's talk about Liverpool a little bit, because they actually won this game. Coach, what is it that they're doing this season? Because sure, they've had a lot of lucky breaks. For instance, playing Real Madrid without Vinicius and Arsenal, 3 of Arsenal's defenders disappearing mid-game, allowing them to equalize, and playing Leipzig right as they started sucking, and so on and so forth. But they've been winning the games, so they're clearly doing some things right. What has Slot added or subtracted from Liverpool's approach that has made them so much more consistent this season compared to last season?
The major thing is the speed of their play. Like, that is the major thing. There's a lot more patience in what they do, and you see in the way he selects his midfields a lot of the time. Like, he always needs to have at least 2 passes in there, kind of thing, and a carrier. Some of those players are hybrids, like Curtis Jones. He's a passer and a carrier. Same thing with Gravenberch as well. I personally think Szoboszlai he's good on the ball, but I feel like a lot of his gifts come from the fact that he's got a great engine and he just runs all day, kind of thing. But the fact that you now have that in midfield, kind of thing, and then you've kind of made Trent play a much more traditional role. But when he does step in field, teams are not expecting it because he's been playing wide a lot, and then bang, he's in midfield. Like the first goal, he stepped into midfield and then bang, it's the same play. Salah to Trent is the play. If Liverpool could play that way all day long, they would, but they have to pick their moments, they have to manufacture that moment, kind of thing. And I feel like Slot is very clever in the way that he's built his team so that it doesn't look like they're going to rely on that, kind of thing. But yeah, the speed of play, but also the fact that looking at the way he has them defending now, especially when they're building up, kind of thing, that 3-2 basically essentially means that when they're pressing high, kind of thing, they're not going to be outnumbered often. Whereas with Liverpool under Klopp, he's pretty much thinking, I'd rather win this game 4-2 than 2-0, basically. So I don't mind giving you a chance because I know Mohamed Salah's got
Emery vibes.
Yeah, but I know, but he could deliver. This one could deliver. I don't know about that waiter over there. But in regards to making sure that all my biggest chances are gonna fall to Salah, kind of thing, he's mastered that. Like, Salah is the man. Let's not kid off. Salah is the man, and he's just done very well to make sure that Salah is on the end of all the most important shit, kind of thing. So,
would you sign him to a new contract?
I'd sign to another. I'd give him 2 years. I'd give him 2 years. You know what I'm saying? No more than 2 years, obviously, but I'd give him 2 years. Yeah.
Same pay, 2 with an option. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, he's arguably one of the best players to ever touch the Premier League. Yeah. So I don't think you give a legend away just like that because
I hope they don't, but I would if I was
Yeah. One more question about this game before we go to the standings. I forgot what the question was. It was for Gabby. It was going to be about Szoboszlai, but we kind of talked about him. He actually impressed a little bit today. Is this just a reflection of how bad City is, or do you think he will actually have a significant part to play in Liverpool's title charge this season?
I think he should. Do I think he will? Maybe, maybe not. What I've been impressed with Slot is that he tends to make the players who I don't really rate that highly, he like reinvigorates them. Like you can see it with Gravenberch. He made him in a completely different player now. He's so important to that midfield. And I think if he can get Szoboszlai to really kick on, then Liverpool might actually be unstoppable. But for now, I think I'll just lean on the side of like City was kind of shit today. So
fair enough. That's us done with the Premier League. Coach, the standings, please.
So yeah, you got Liverpool in first place.
Did we miss a game?
What is it?
Did we miss a game?
Okay.
Did we talk about the Brighton game?
Brighton, we did not.
That was a Friday game, yes.
Oh, right.
I know we didn't talk about Matoma.
Yeah. That I don't remember what happened. So Gabby, please take it away. What happened in the Brighton game? Who did they play? Southampton. Oh, the Tyler Dibbling affair. That's what happened. Yes, that was when I decided. Well, I decided when I saw him at the Emirates, but that boy, nice. Carry on, Gabby.
This game, I know technically he scored in this game, so it's like recency bias and everything, but I was just like, this game made me really think about Matoma again because we had not been linked to him for a long time. And I was like, I really still think that he's somebody that we need. Like his kind of profile, somebody, the way that I personally like wide playmakers, the way that he makes his own shots, the way that he dribbles through players, the way that he always makes himself available. He's just very good. And I know we knew this already, but sometimes when you have a dip in form and you're not really looking at, like, Brighton hadn't been doing that well for a while, you forget. But this is a game that reminded me. Like, Mitoma's just really good. And I feel like he's going to remind us in the next few weeks that he's still very good.
Well said.
Do they play Liverpool by any time soon? By any chance?
They already played Liverpool twice and lost them twice in games that they probably shouldn't have lost. That was like not even a month ago that happened.
They can't defend, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that. I will say, Coach, before we get out of here, of all the assets at Brighton, if you were to bring yet another one, because we already got White, we already got Trossard, of all the assets they have there, which one would you want? Baleba.
Of course it would be. Oh my days.
Baleba. Only because I'm looking at the fact that from our midfield now, if Arsenal are the club I think we are, we're getting rid of at least one of 5 and Jorginho in the summer. So it just makes sense for numbers and just for experience, and not for numbers, so not for experience, but for reinvigoration kind of thing, because he solves a lot of tactical problems as well, I think, for Labour.
He's not as good as Miles Lewis-Skelly. All right, that's enough of that.
You don't think so?
You got Miles Lewis-Skelly at home.
Hell yeah. All right, well, Gabby, thank you for joining us. This has been wonderful. But we're not done yet because Coach didn't do the standings.
Oh, yeah. So Liverpool in first with 34 points. We are in second, joint with Chelsea, exact same record, goals scored, conceded, all that shit on 25 points. And then you have Brighton on 23 points, along with City on 23 points.
Okay. So City's still in it. Good stuff. All right, folks. Anything else for the people before we get out of here?
Like, share, subscribe. Please, guys. You guys really do us a massive favor by doing all that shit. Put it on all your socials, like I said on the stream. You know, on your Insta and shit, all of that shit. Let people know what you're listening to and all that shit. Yeah, man.
Also, I know nobody cares, but I did really good in fantasy this week.
How many points?
When you drop Haaland, you kind of prosper.
How many points?
Let's see. Let's double check because I tweeted it today. 104.
Holy
and I had it. 104, and I left points on the bench too. I left Ahmad. I knew I should have started him, but I didn't.
Damn, I got 65.
I did okay with like 83. So
fuck, I am the worst. I'm gonna delete.
I thought I did okay, man, but fucking 104. Fair
that
play.
Midfield put up numbers: Saka, Palmer, Salah, and Johnson, all double digits.
I had Saka and Palmer, and I've had Salah in my team before, and I took him out. Why did I take him out?
Yeah, that's not smart. Yeah. All right, folks. This has been wonderful. Gabby, thanks for joining us on the main pod. We will see you again sometime soon, I imagine. Coach, thanks as always. And you know what to tell the people.
Peace.
Hey, folks. This is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.